Morning. I'm thinking about the greatest command. Do you know what it is? It is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. That's the greatest command, and it sounds so simple. But practically speaking, if you don't know the definition of love, it's very hard to implement loving the Lord your God with everything you have, and then further loving your neighbor as yourself. My mind immediately goes to people who are hard to love, who don't receive the love that you give, that hurt and hurt others. Well, they hurt inside as well as hurt others. It's very hard to love those people. But the command is love God, love your neighbor. Wouldn't it do us justice then to try to figure out how to love and also how to receive love? So if we can rest in knowing without a doubt that no matter what we've done, that God loves us, that's the first step. And it's true. There's literally nothing in the world that can change God's love for you. He loves you, He loves you, He loves you. Now, understanding that love and understanding that only God can really give you that kind of perfect love, because people are broken. They have feelings, they get wrapped up in their emotions, and before you know it, they're not acting very loving. Once you start living that way, it's change, and it can be very, very foreign. I can't say that I've had people hurt me. I've had people show actions towards me and my kids, and I don't know what to do with it. But I don't know, maybe I've got a callus inside that says you can't really hurt me. But also I understand that God's love is enough to just overshadow any lack of love that I'm getting from other people. So I can rest secure in who I am and understand that I'm doing the best I can, and the capacity that I have is just that. It's enough, and I know and trust that it can continue to grow and get even better, because God refines us as we open our hearts to receive it. So on that note though, if you don't know how to love or be loved, it's hard to give your whole heart to God then. And that's something I know I struggle with. I think it's because His love is so big, it's hard to grasp it. And because you're not used to allowing that kind of love to wash over you, it's really hard. But we can take time every day to try and seek God and seek His ways, and then it does change, but it's a slow process. But if that's your goal, if I'm gonna say my goal today is to love God with everything I've got, and that's pretty much all you really need through each day. The desire, the willingness to love Him with everything. And then that love will pour out of you onto your neighbors, and you'll be serving people, and you'll be seeing hurts in their eyes maybe, that you can, at the very least pray about. I say at the very least, but prayer is really just one of those things that is so valuable beyond anything else you could really do. Because what prayer does is it shows that you have a trust and a hope that God can do it better, and a belief that God can do it better. We are not on this earth to save people. We're not on this earth to make things better for people. We're really here to become who God created us to be. I could go into more detail on that. What I mean is, God has plans for you, and He created you with that specific purpose. And you have things in you that are unique to who you are. And the unfortunate reality is that many people, even as adults, don't really have an understanding of the gifts that they have inside of them that are already there and would come out in service to others in such a natural way. The reason we don't have this understanding, unless we really seek it out and search for it, is because the things that happen to us, our childhoods, as we get older, the people we surround ourselves with, those voices, those hurts, those traumas, they tend to be a louder voice in your head. And it shakes your confidence and your belief that you really could, provide something from your giftedness that would help a situation. And furthermore, then we're distracted by other things. Simply, we're distracted by busyness. And it's hard then to prioritize service to others. But the truth is, if you're not doing that, you're not living up to your full potential. And so it would be helpful to first start seeking how you can truly love God with everything you have, and make that your priority focus. And then when He says love your neighbor as yourself, understanding that God loves you, it trumps whatever hatred you have for yourself. I mean, we're programmed sometimes by society, and you don't realize it until you realize it. But love your neighbor as yourself. If you're looking at yourself through the lens of all of your imperfections and your brokenness, I doubt that you're loving yourself the way God loves you, right? So if you can rest in God's love and understand, even in your brokenness, that He loves you no matter what, you can then start accepting the things you can't change about yourself, and then allowing God to make those transformations for you as your shackles get broken. That's what shackles are. They're little, I'll say, calluses inside of your heart, your hurts, all the things that you've had happen to you over the years that have scarred you. Scar tissue grows, and God is a surgeon in a way. He can come in and He can clear out that scar tissue, and your heart can move freely again and beat with love. And that's a gift. But it's something that if you don't pay attention to, you're never going to be able to be in this situation where you really are free to love yourself and love others, even as you are today. Even if you've made mistakes, even if there's something that you struggle with, you can love God and love others. And what's really cool then is God oftentimes will put people in your life that need your dose of compassion. Because when you realize that God is bigger than anything that you've ever faced, and He heals it, He can then grow the compassion in your heart as you've already dealt with certain things. And you might, come across people then who have dealt with things that are similar. And it's interesting because even though our circumstances aren't 100% the same as anybody else, even if you go through a circumstance with another person, your perception is going to be different than theirs. But what you have to offer from those trials is encouragement for someone else. Even just the encouragement that somebody else in the world has gone through something similar, and here are the emotions that that person felt. It's really interesting, but it takes some effort, because we do have to, first and foremost, we have to see things for what they are. And then we have to allow the healing to take place. And then that's when, you know, our love and compassion can kind of flow. Because if your hurts are still affecting you, it's really hard to love God and love others, because you're coming from a place of feeling, I don't want to say feeling sorry for yourself, but Jeremiah has words that say, woe to me. And that's kind of the situation that we can kind of get caught up in sometimes. We feel sorry for ourselves. And again, that's not really the place to operate from, but it's a reality. So look at those things that are holding you back and talk to God about them. Allow His love to wash over you no matter what the situation is. And then you have some more freedom to love God and love others. So that's my message. I hope that it makes sense. I always feel like I'm rambling a little bit towards the end, but let's just take to heart the simple first command and see where that takes you as far as how you're interacting with people around you. Have a great day.